It has been a very tough couple days for the market, but there are some good things to look forward to when it comes to HBAR, namely a grand deadline on a major HBAR ETF. That's what we're going to be talking about in the video today. So let's get right into it. What in the world is going on with HBAR? Well, HBAR has been going through a little bit of volatility, to say the least. And let me be the first one to go ahead and just say very quickly here that I am not in a state of panic. I want to be the first one to say that this is a cryptocurrency that is going to take time to mature. I've said this since day one, and I've been holding this crypto since 2022. I still remember when I first bought my HBAR, and I've been able to, go ahead and dominate in certain markets, not dominate in other markets. But overall, with HBAR, I was able to do pretty damn well. I have to say that there is no way that I can comfort you and tell you that this thing's going to go to the moon in 20 days or that it's all going to be perfectly fine. But what I can say is that there are some things in our direction that are doing well. One of them being the fact that an HBAR ETF did go live, HBR. This was with Canary Capital, the first ever HBAR ETF. And now we're going to be getting on November 12th. This is another catalyst to look forward to when it comes to HBAR, the Grayscale Idera HBAR ETF. We know Grayscale is a significantly larger fund than Canary Capital. So, of course, this Grayscale ETF is supposed to have more of an impact. Given the fact that the Canary Capital ETF passed, I don't see a reason why this one doesn't pass. For the people that are going to say they're just going to delay it again, well, the SEC cannot extend again. So they're going to be making a final decision on November 12th. If approved, it would pave the way for the US spot HBAR ETF. That's going to be a great thing. I don't see a world in which this doesn't pass, given the fact that Canary Capital already has one. In fact, they rang the NASDAQ closing bell with Canary Funds for said HBAR ETF. So clearly, there's a lot of hype already surrounding this kind of stuff. It isn't translating to the price today because we are getting another liquidation cascade. It just feels like lately we've had liquidation cascade after liquidation cascade. It's not a good thing, but that's where the future is heading. So it kind of is what it is. How am I playing this? Well, I'm holding my horses. I'm not going anywhere. If this coin goes down 50%, 60%, it's not the first time that's happened. It is a scenario that is very much possible. There's about a 52% chance on Polymarket right now that Bitcoin breaks under 100K. And of course, that would be very bad for the entire crypto market. However, if we do catch a bid here, which, there's no guarantee, but that's kind of the crypto markets, that's equity markets. You never really know where this thing's going. But if you hold enough for enough time and you're holding something solid, that it'll do well long term. But Bitcoin has a pretty high likelihood of going under 100K here. I am not bearish by any means. I am simply a realist. I'm being realistic about the stuff. I am going to take opportunities when I make more income to accumulate more altcoins and more cryptocurrencies. I am holding a significant amount of stables. I've made a lot of videos talking about the fact that I've been taking profit over time, but I am going to be allocating absolutely if we break under 100K on Bitcoin. If we break under 100K on Bitcoin, it might get a little rocky, but that's a great time and kind of where I'm looking to DCA into crypto. I don't want to DCA into crypto right now because I don't have a clear direction as to where we're going to be going. I don't know if we're going up. I don't know if we're going down. I don't know if we're going sideways. But what I do know is HBAR has an ETF. There are many altcoins that don't have an ETF. People thought that we were going to be getting an XRP ETF first, but we actually ended up getting an HBAR ETF first. So I think that speaks magnitudes to the position overall, where HBAR is in the regulatory landscape, just how clarity driven it is, just how connected it is to get ETFs first. If we get dual ETFs, right? If we get this Grayscale ETF and also this Canary Capital ETF, that can only be a good thing once altcoin volume starts coming back. So those are kind of the things that we're looking at right now. Bitcoin is showing a lot of strength, and I am someone that's only going to tell you to buy the best coins in the market. I don't buy the whole narrative where people should be gambling their life savings away on these hyper speculative altcoins down here. I think people should be holding the top 20 cryptocurrencies, the ones that they have the most conviction in. The end goal is always to accumulate more Bitcoin, but overall, This is a market with a lot of volatility, but also a market that I am not in any way stretch of the imagination going to be selling. I'm not going to be selling into this market. It doesn't make sense. If you haven't sold yet, this is not the time to sell. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section. As always, stay classy, my friends, and that's all.